Hey guys, what is up? It is Tion or Tion back again with another video, and today we're going to be figuring out whether you beat Pokemon Firered or LeafGreen with only a Plusle. What the?
You better stop right there, Tion. What do you think you're doing beating a Pokemon game with a pepperoni-sized mouse-like rodent? Don't you know that's my spiel?
R9? What are you doing in my video? Don't you have your own videos to make?
Here's the deal, Tiano Reeves. Let's make this into a duel. You and your meatball-sized abomination versus me and my ultimate mouse in terms of attack and defense. So what do you think? Think you can handle the heat?
You know what, R9? You're on. There's no way you're beating me.
Well, since this is your video after all, why don't you just jump right into the rules so we can get this going?
Right, so rule number 1 is no using other Pokemon in battle besides Plusle, or in R9's case, Minum. Rule number 2 is no using items in battle. Held items will be allowed, although we probably won't be using much of those. Rule number 3 is no hacking or cheating of any kind. I could promise you I won't be cheating, but I can't say the same thing about R9.
Yeah. Quit the chit-chat and let's end this break like a Kit Kat.
Right, guys, so let's go ahead and get right into the run. So like every run, we have to choose our starter, which we did modify. Wait, what the heck is this thing? So it looks like our choices are a Bulbasaur named Plusle, a normal Charmander, or a Plusle named Krabby. Obviously, I messed with this ROM too much, so the starters are kind of messed up, but we do, of course, end up choosing this Plusle, which actually ended up being a Plusle. I end up naming Plusle Defib because, you know, like defibrillator, because he's an electric thing. Haha. And of course, we did make it so R9Beats does take the Bulbasaur, so it would be as hard as possible. Alright, so this is our first problem. We actually do not have any attacking moves. If you look at Plusle's learn set, he only learns quick attack at level 10. So obviously this means that we cannot win this rival fight, and we also have to use struggle to level up all the way to level 10 before we even get to the Viridian Forest. You win this time, R9, but I promise I will get you back. So basically the entire strategy was extremely painful. We had to run out of PP, and we only had a limited amount of potions that we couldn't even use during battle. So basically I had to save a lot and just hope that I did not get hit, because I physically did not have enough money to buy enough potions to actually keep my HP up. Now eventually we finally do hit level 10, which took absolutely forever, but once we hit level 10 we do learn quick attack. Now that we actually have an attacking move, we could definitely grind up a lot faster, because now we could use Pokemon Centers. Even after leveling up a few levels all the way to level 14, it really doesn't matter, as we can't even take out the trainer before Brock. We can't even come close to beating the trainer before Brock at level 14. We have no moves that are good against rock type, so it looks like we're gonna have to be extremely overleveled. Eventually we do grind up to level 18, and we do try our luck against Brock. And nope, not even close. We can't even get past this Geodude, so that means we have to go grinding even more. I wonder what level I'm gonna have to be beat him, because this is not going good. Finally, we do get all the way up to level 22, and at level 22, Plusle actually wants to learn Encore, which isn't too bad of a move. It could definitely be used in the future. Our moveset now is Quick Attack, Thunder Wave, Spark, and Encore, which isn't too bad, but we still have to go against rock types. Now that we're level 22, we might have a chance against Brock. Now, surprisingly enough, Encore ended up being our savior in this battle. Geodude ended up using Defense Curl right off the bat, so we do use Encore, so instead of attacking us, he actually just ends up spamming Defense Curl. Obviously, this is very annoying because it does raise his defense by 1 stage every time, but it's definitely better than getting tackled. Slowly but surely, we do end up quick attacking his HP all the way down, and luckily he doesn't have any potions. Now at this point, we are extremely overleveled, as we are level 22, while Brock's Onix is only level 14, but as soon as Onix uses tackle, we hit him with the Encore. Now he does get off a few rock tombs, which does lower our speed, but we are faster than him anyway, and we end up doing the same strategy we did to Geodude. Wow, it's not even 6 minutes into the challenge, and I had to do 4 hours of grinding. This is gonna be fun. We eventually do end up taking out Onix with Quick Attack. I really wish that Plusle learned a move that actually did more damage, but that's okay. We ended up winning anyway, and this is probably gonna be one of the hardest gyms anyway.
Hey Tioni, how long did it take you to beat that there Brock Snake with your red rodent?
Well, I did it at level 22 in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Making our way through Mount Moon, we do end up taking on the Super Nerd. Now that we are level 25, it was relatively easy and we get the choice between a Helix and Dome Fossil. I have to tell you guys that I'm choosing the Helix Fossil because if I didn't, you guys would blow up my comments, and you're still probably going to anyway. Thanks, my dry bread. Next up is Misty. Of course, Misty's not going to cause us very much trouble at all because we are an electric type and we do no spark. Misty starts off with Staryu. Now, of course, we do outspeed Staryu because we are level 26, easily taking it down with 1 spark and also taking Starmie down with 1 spark. That was the easiest Misty fight I have ever had. Once we get the Cascade badge from Misty, next up is our rival. Almost every single one of his Pokemon does go down to 1 spark except his Bulbasaur. His Bulbasaur is an extreme problem and does resist, and he also has Sleep Powder, which could definitely cause us some issues. This battle actually kind of was drawn out because he does hit us with Leech Seed, which is kind of annoying, but we do end up using Encore, giving us an opportunity to use Quick Attack. Now, if we do also get hit with Sleep Powder, that's obviously going to be a big problem because he's already doing a lot of damage to us only with Leech Seed. Eventually, with only 11 HP left, we do end up taking out our rival and we have to head over to Bill's house. On our way to Bill's house, Plusle does level up to level 28 and is trying to learn Fake Tears. This move is extremely good as it makes the opponent's special defense fall by 2 stages, and we end up replacing Encore. It was a tough choice, but I know I made the right one. We then head to Bill's house and get the SS ticket and then head to Vermilion City. Once we are on the SSN, we do have the next rival fight, which does go pretty smoothly. He leads off with Pidgeotto that gets 1 shot with Spark, and his Raticate ends up dying. Next up is Kadabra, which also goes down to 1 Spark, and the last Pokemon he has is an Ivysaur. We do end up using Fake Tears a couple times on Ivysaur and then easily take him out with 1 spark. Ivysaur is not really a problem right now, but when he evolves, I think that he's going to cause a little bit more of an issue. We then go to the captain and we do make him feel better and he gives us the HM01 cut. We then catch a Spearow so we could trade for Farfetch'd. The reason we do this trade for Farfetch'd is because Farfetch'd can learn Cut and Fly. And once we teach Farfetch'd Cut, we do head on to Lieutenant Surge's gym. Now, being an electric type in an electric type gym, I wasn't really sure how this battle was going to go. Fake Tears ends up being our best friend in this battle because with the special defense drop, we are able to one-shot most of his Pokemon. That leaves Lieutenant Surge with his last Pokemon, Raichu. We do use Fake Tears and he's able to survive a Spark, but I know 1 more is enough to take him out. We end up getting paralyzed here, but of course that is not going to stop us from taking him out as he does use a Quick Attack as a last-ditch effort. We end up missing Spark. This battle kind of does get drawn out as I do get paralyzed here, and it does get kind of annoying, but eventually we do get off a Spark and we win the battle. That was relatively easy. I wonder how R9's doing.
Are you kidding me? Wrong one again? Seriously, who's hiding all these switches?
I guess we'll just come back to him later. I'm not gonna lie, Rock Tunnel literally took me about 4 hours to get through. That definitely put me behind on time. This was not fun to do. I had to deal with Geodudes, Gravelers, and Onyxes along the way in Rock Tunnel, and it definitely was a challenge for Plusle. Next up is our rival battle in the Lost Tower. So a lot of things on his team is actually weak to electric, as we do take out every single Pokemon once again with a Spark except his Ivysaur. Being level 41 definitely has its advantages now that we're able to one-shot almost anything that's not a ground type. We actually do not rely on Fake Tears here, as we do end up using Spark, using Brute Force, and ending the battle with a crit. Now we have to make our way to Circulant City and beat Erika, and I know that this might cause a problem because all of her Pokemon are grass type.
Duh, Tion, that's why it's a grass gym!
My bad! Now of course I wanted to rely on Plusle's amazing special attack for this battle, so we did end up using Fake Tears to deal up some more damage. We do end up getting paralyzed in the process, but Victory Bell does go down only after a few sparks. Next out is her level 24 Tangela, which we do hit with Fake Tears to lower its special defense, and we do hit it with a spark, taking it out. Our last Pokemon is a level 29 Vileplume. We actually end up losing here because we end up getting fully paralyzed, so we're not able to attack, so we have to do this battle again. Eventually we do get that run where we arrive at Vileplume at full HP. We end up using Fake Tears a couple times to lower her special defense and finish her off with only 1 spark. Out of all the gyms, I really didn't plan on getting stuck on a Vileplume. I wonder if R9's doing as bad as me right now.
I already beat Erika like a piñata at my little cousin's bar mitzvah.
Wow, okay. In what world does R9 catch up to me? Next up is Giovanni in the Rocket Hideout, and honestly, I realize at this point in the game that I'm going to have to get a move that actually is able to hit Onix. Not just Onix, but any ground/rock types has always gave me a problem, so I think it's time to change that. After getting destroyed by Onix, I decided it's time to go get Iron Tail. Now, the only only way to go get Iron Tail is the game corner, and I do not have enough money. We end up buying all the coins that we possibly could with our money, but it still wasn't enough. I really didn't want to end up playing slots, but I knew that we actually had to, because if I didn't, I would have to go around everywhere, go get more trainers, go get more money, buy more, but eventually we do test our luck and we get enough coins. Now this was a very tedious process, and it actually took over an hour. We eventually do get the final roll we need, because Iron Tail only costs 3,500 coins, and we go over and collect our prize. Ah, there it is, TM23. You took way too long to get. Once we get Iron Tail, we replace Quick Attack, because Quick Attack at this point is useless compared to Spark and Iron Tail. And now that we have a move that actually does damage against rock and ground types, let's go try Giovanni again. We go up to Giovanni with our newfound move Iron Tail, and it's actually a complete sweep. Onyx goes down in one hit, Rhyhorn goes down in one hit, and Kangaskhan goes down in 2 sparks. I knew that Plusle could learn Iron Tail, but I really didn't plan on getting this, but I'm really glad I did, as this is gonna make the game so much easier. Now that Giovanni's out of the way, let's go save Mr. Fuji. Of course, in the Lost Tower, we have to take care of this Marowak, which goes down in only a few Iron Tails. We then easily defeat every single Team Rocket Grunt up here that is supposedly holding Mr. Fuji captive. We end up getting Mr. Fuji to go home, and he does reward us with the Poke Flute. Now next up is Silphco, and we have to take on our rival. Now this did take many attempts to do, because believe it or not, Venusaur was actually a problem, as we are able to easily finish off Pidgeot and Gyarados and Growlithe all with 1 spark. Alakazam does survive, but 1 more spark is enough to take him out, as Venusaur is the last one left. Eventually we do get to him almost at full HP, do a few fake tears, and end up getting put to sleep. Now luckily for us, we do wake up with only 1 turn of sleep, which is super lucky for us, and we do take the W. Next up is Giovanni. Giovanni did take a few attempts as well. If we did not have Iron Tail, I have no idea how we would overcome this challenge. Now Plusle is definitely not a physical attacker, but his attack stat will do, as Nidoqueen only goes down with 3 Iron Tails. Next out is Kangaskhan at level 35, which goes down to only 3 sparks, leaving his last Pokemon to be Rhyhorn. Now of course Iron Tail is super effective against Rhyhorn, and it is almost enough to take him out, but 1 more Iron Tail will seal the deal, beating Giovanni for the 2nd time. We're actually gonna do Sabrina before we go to Koga, because Sabrina's closer, and that is literally my only reason. Sabrina is technically after Koga, but it's okay. At level 52, I don't think that we're gonna have a problem. Only after a few sparks, Kadabra does go down, leaving her next Pokemon to be Mr. Mime at level 37. Mr. Mime does go down in only 2 sparks, and her next Pokemon is a Venomoth. Now Venomoth does get off a Psybeam here, which does end up confusing us, as we do hit ourselves and also take some more damage, but we end up taking out Venomoth, leaving her last Pokemon to be Alakazam. Luckily for us, 2 sparks is enough to take out Alakazam, and just like that, we beat Sabrina in only 2 attempts. Wow, only 2 attempts. There's no way R9 could catch up to us now.
2 attempts? That's nothing. She gave me the badge for free cause she saw the future.
Up next is Koga. Now Koga did take a few attempts, because we are not able to one-shot Coughing with 1 spark without using fake tears. Next out is Muck, and it really did get annoying because it kept spamming minimize, but eventually we did get lucky and we did hit a spark. Now it did take a little bit, but once we did connect with the spark, it did take it out. Coughing goes down to 1 critical spark, and his last Pokemon is Weezing, which also does go down to only a few sparks. That's 6 gym badges out of the way. Next up is Blaine. Basically gotta speed run this crap so we make sure R9 doesn't catch up to us. Oh yeah, I forgot. Before we go to Blaine, we have to pick up these gold teeth for the old man, and we also have to go get the HM Surf from the secret house. I literally flew over to Pallet Town and then realized I couldn't surf, so yeah, that was kind of funny. We also pick up Double Team, as you saw, which might be useful later, hint hint. But next up is Blaine. Now we kind of do have to worry about Blaine, because Fire Blast is an extremely strong move, and unlike R9, Plusle's special defense is actually worse than Minum's. We then head over to the Warden's house and give him back his gold teeth, and he does reward us with strength, which is obviously necessary to beat the game. Now the best HM Pokemon that's the easiest to get is Lapras and the Silphco, and we do teach Lapras Surf and Strength along the way. We then find our way in the abandoned mansion and do find the secret key so we can go battle Blaine. Once we finally battle our way through Blaine's quiz, we are faced with very strong fire types that I'm really not sure how to handle. battle. We end up taking out Growlithe with only 1 spark as well as his Ponyta. Next up is his level 42 Rapidash, which is able to survive 1 spark, but 1 more is enough to take it out. Next up is Arcanine, which is actually extremely scary, but Fire Blast doesn't end up doing enough damage, and we do survive, taking out Arcanine with only 1 more spark, getting the 7th gym badge. This was only my first attempt. At least I know R9 cannot beat me on that one.
Wait, you're telling me you beat Blaine? I'm still waiting for him to come back. The door's locked.
Right, so next one is Giovanni. Now Giovanni took multiple attempts to the point where I had to literally grind on Giovanni's first few Pokemon to level up more. He was definitely one of the hardest gyms besides Brock. Brock was just brutal because I really didn't have any other moves. This one was infuriating because I knew that I could win. It was just very difficult. I admit it, Giovanni broke me on this one. I was not ready to grind up all the way to level 85 to beat him, so I do teach DFIP a double team in order to beat him. Now I really was comfortable with my moveset, but I ended up replacing Thunder Wave because I knew Thunder Wave was the move I used least, and all these other moves were pretty much necessary for me to keep. Giovanni's first Pokemon is a level 45 Rhyhorn who loves to spam Scary Face. As we do set up all of our double teams so we get max evasiveness, he does end up hitting us with 2 Scary Face, drastically lowering our speed. But I know if we have all of our double teams set up, the odds are definitely in our favor. We also have the hope that Iron Tail actually hits because Iron Tail loves missing, and I honestly hate the move just because of that. Iron Tail is the only move we could actually use. We end up taking out Rhyhorn and Dugtrio with Iron Tail, as we do miss one on Nidoqueen, but eventually we do land but get poisoned in the process. 2 Iron Tails is enough to take out Nidoking as his last Pokemon Rhyhorn comes out. Now luckily for us, with a combination of double teams and Iron Tail luck, we do end up winning this battle after about an hour and a half of attempts. This definitely was a very rough gym battle. But luckily for us, this is also the last gym battle, as we do get the Earth Badge from Giovanni and make our way towards the Elite Four. This challenge is hard enough, and we also have to worry about our time. It's not like we could take our sweet time and grind up to level 100, or R9 would definitely beat us.
Tion, I have to warn you, man. Giovanni is the 8th gym leader.
Yeah, I know, I already beat him.
Oh, you already know? You've already taken him down? Aw, phooey.
Next up is our rival battle. Now, R9 is actually slightly ahead of me at this point, and he told me this was an absolutely awful battle, so I know I have to be extremely careful. We do set up a couple double teams just to get our evasiveness up, and then we do hit Pidgeot with a Spark, which does take him out. Next out is Rhyhorn, who does go down to 1 critical Iron Tail, and his next Pokemon is Gyarados, which of course goes down to 1 Spark. I'm surprised how strong we are at this point, because Growlithe does come out and also gets taken out with 1 Spark. Alakazam is up next at level 47, does hit hard with Psychic, but next up is Venusaur. Now this was an extremely close battle. Venusaur does set up a couple growths here, and we live with only 1 HP. He misses his next Razor Leaf, and we do get the crit to win the battle. Now that was actually my first attempt, and I cannot wait to tell R9 and see what his reaction is.
So what you're telling me right now is you beat the rival battle before Victory Road first try? Ha! I'll believe it when I see it. Where's Ashton Kutcher? I know I'm getting punked right now.
You'll see, man, you'll see. We eventually do find our way out of Victory Road, and now next up is the Elite Four. Unfortunately, I know Plusle is not at the level he needs to beat the Elite Four, so we have to do massive amounts of grinding. At first, I decided to grind at Victory Road, but then I realized, wait a second, Lorelei is super weak to electric. So literally on purpose, we just end up grinding on Lorelei. Now, of course we do lose, but we do get massive levels along the way. We eventually do take on Lorelei at level 88. Now that we are at this level, we're able to one-shot the first 3 of her Pokemon until Lapras comes out. Lorelei then heals up Lapras with a full restore, but 1 more Spark is enough to take it out. Luckily for us, we do get the crit on Spark there, beating Lorelei and bringing us to Bruno. Now Bruno does have a couple of Onyxes that we do have to be careful of because they do know Earthquake, and we have the hope that Iron Tail actually hits. His first Pokemon is his Onix at level 51, who does get taken out with only 1 Iron Tail, as his next Onix does go down to 2 Iron Tails. Now that the Onyxes are out of the way, this really shouldn't be a problem, but we do have some damage taken. Next out is Hitmonchan at level 53. Now if we were low enough HP, he would hit us with Match Punch, but luckily for us, we do get the crit on Spark, taking him out. Bruno's next Pokemon is a Hitmonlee at level 53, who does pack a Kick. Get it? Instead of punch, I say kick. Haha, I'm so funny. All jokes aside though, we do land a spark, but it is not enough to take out Hitmonlee because it was not a crit. I know if we get hit with one more attack that we will be down, as we barely do survive the Mega Kick. Now I know Machamp definitely will not go down to a spark, so we either have to get a crit or we have to hope he uses a move that will actually miss. Next down is his Machamp at level 56, and by far his strongest Pokemon. Spark does just over half HP, and we either have the hope for a crit or he misses. We do not get the crit, but he misses his cross drop, which is awesome. He does have a Citrus Berry, which does bring him back just over half HP, and I'm really not sure if Spark's able to take him out from this range, so we just cross our fingers and hope, and luckily for us, Spark does do enough. This actually was my first attempt on Bruno, so it went pretty well. Next up is Agatha, and I know that if we at least hit our Sparks, we should be okay. So Agatha's first Pokemon is a Gengar who loves to spam Double Team. Now this is what I meant by if we could actually hit our Sparks, because Spark is an extremely strong move, especially at this level. Agatha does end up healing up Gengar, but 2 more Sparks is enough to take it out. Next up is Golbat, which is obviously weak to Electric, so an easy one-shot for Plusle. Next out is Agatha's level 56 Arbok, which we do hit with Fake Tears because I'm really not sure if 1 Spark without Fake Tears is enough to take it out. Sure enough, after using Fake Tears, 1 Spark is enough to take out Arbok, as her next Pokemon is a level 58 Gengar, which we use the same strategy on. Luckily, Gengar misses Hypnosis and we're able to take it out. Agatha's last Pokemon is a Haunter at level 53, which easily goes down to 1 Spark. No Fake Tears, no nothing. We absolutely destroyed Agatha, and that was our first attempt. Next up is the Elite Four member Lance. Lance definitely did cause me a problem, as I actually did need all my double teams set up in order to even get close to winning this battle. I soon realized that I'm actually not able to set up all of my double teams because Gyarados was doing a lot of damage to us. Luckily for us, 4 is enough to actually get by. In order to take out Lance's Dragonairs, we had to use Fake Tears, and even that wasn't enough to make Spark one shot. Lance then sends out his Ace, a level 60 Dragonite, which does hit with Outrage. I know if he keeps hitting these, there's no way we're gonna win. Spark isn't enough to one shot, so we have to hope he misses. Oh well, never mind, we get the critical hit, so everything doesn't matter. Looks like we actually have a chance. Next out is Aerodactyl. Now we are level 90, but we are paralyzed, so our speed is cut in half. All we have to do is outspeed and hit this thing with a Spark to win. Luckily for us, 4 double teams is enough to make Aerodactyl miss his Agent Power, as we do hit Aerodactyl with Spark, winning the battle, finally beating Lance. Now next up, of course, is the champion, our rival. I know since we're vastly overleveled at level 90 that we don't really have any threats to worry about except the Venusaur. As we know, the champion battle is definitely the hardest battle in the game. Racing against the clock, this is the final battle, and at this point I have no idea where R9 is. Now R9 did tell me he got rid of Fake Tears, and luckily for us we still have it, and this is definitely going to be one of the most useful moves throughout this battle. We do get all of our double teams set up here and take out Pidgeot with 1 Spark. Next out is his Rhydon, and Iron Tail being Iron Tail, of course we do miss. Luckily we do connect with the next Iron Tail, but it does not do near enough damage. We do take a few turns to take out Rhydon with Iron Tail, so we do have to avoid a few turns of Earthquake. I just realized I said we do like 30 times in a row. I promise I won't say it for the rest of the video. Eventually with some luck, Rhydon does go down and he does miss all of his Earthquakes. Next out is Alakazam, who could definitely pack a punch with Psychic. Being at level 90, I know that Plusle can survive a Psychic, but I really do not want to take any chances, and luckily for us, he does miss. 1 Spark is not enough to take Alakazam down, but the champion R9Beats does use a full restore, bringing his HP all the way back up. Even though Alakazam got all of his HP back, I know that 2 Sparks is enough to take him out. Unfortunately, we do get hit with a Psychic that does a little bit of damage, but we do end up taking him out. Next up is Gyarados. Now he does have Intimidate, but it really doesn't matter as Spark is a special move, and I know that 1 Spark is enough to take Gyarados out easily. The champion's next Pokemon is a level 61 Arcanine that I know I cannot one-shot with Spark, so we do hit it with Fake Tears, as we do miss a Spark, but 1 more is enough to take it out. Next out is one of the most challenging parts in the entire run. Venusaur at level 63 definitely has the potential to take us out. We do miss Fake Tears, which is absolutely awful, as Venusaur does set up a Solar Beam. Luckily, Fake Tears does end up hitting this turn, and Venusaur does miss his Solar Beam. Even with the special defense drop, I know that's not enough to take out Venusaur, so we have to hit him with 1 more Fake Tears. Venusaur then goes for growth, hoping if he does actually land a solar beam, it will do enough to take us out. Spark unfortunately is not enough to take him out, but we do get the paralysis. Venusaur Citrus Berry then gets him out of full restore range, as we do miss our spark to finish the battle, but one more is enough to take him out as it does connect. Finally, after countless hours of attempts and countless hours overall with gameplay, we finally become the league champion with only a Plusle. This definitely took some serious time, but let's look and see how long it actually took us. Wow, only 20 hours and 56 minutes. As long as it's below R9Beats, I do win. And do you guys want to see who won? You have to go over to his channel, to his video, and see who actually wins. But seriously guys, this was a super fun video to make. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button below if you did enjoy, and if you did not and see something wrong with the video, please let me know down in the comments below. Like always, your feedback is definitely appreciated, and this was a super fun run to do, and let me know down below what I should do next. Like always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.